Los, what's good,
Yo,
brother?
we out here. We
What's
in the
going on?
building, baby. We back for another conversation. Listening to the battle Gucci versus Jeezy.
Gucci versus Jeezy, man. Hold on, man. Who you got in that battle, man?
Neither one of them.
Ah,
I thought T.I. was gonna be going against, one of them, to be honest with you. But they're doing their thing though. So shout out to both of the artists. Shout out for them making history tonight. You know what I mean?
now you know what, man. Now that one I could rock with. I'm sure Ti probably was gonna throw some resistance up, but I could rock with Ti and a Jeezy. I could see that one.
I think T.I. would have smoked them.
No, I'm not gonna say I gotta rock with Ti on that, man. Let's say Ti got some he got a couple little, couple little joints I rock with. So yeah, I would be down for that one.
If you had to set up your own versus battle, well, who would you set up? Who would you do? Who would you do?
My own versus battle. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Any era, any time period, anything.
You know what, man? I'm gonna keep it 100. So if I had to do a versus battle right now, because I'm a huge No Limit fan.
Okay.
So I would go No Limit versus Cash Money. That's my versus right there.
Ooh, oh, that's how you feel, Quay?
That's my versus right there.
I'm gonna have to settle this debate. Whitney versus Mariah.
Oh, that's a deep one, man. Now, you got a lot of loyal Whitney fans. I don't know, Los.
But Mariah got some bangers. We not going to act like Mariah got the bangers in the closet. You know what I mean?
No, she do. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, no, that would be a good one, man. Low key. That would be a good one right there.
And plus, God rest her soul, you know what I'm saying? Mariah was still making music after Whitney passed. So her catalog, might extend a little bit further,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Whitney. But I would love to see two angels go at it. I think that would be, you know what I mean? The vibe.
No doubt.
So talk to me, man. What we doing on the show today? You know what I'm saying? Light skin don't care. What's going on over there?
Man, nothing much, man. Like I said, feeling good. Up here in Michigan, we they got us back locked down, brother. They done do the 3-week lockdown.
Steady trying to find the motive. Did I do what I do? Quincy is locked up. They won't let him out.
Right. Got us locked up, brother. So we back on shutdown again. A couple things still open, but I don't know, Los. I got my questions about this whole thing. Cats be jumping on my post, man. I got
what they jumping
questions.
on your post about, bro? What they jumping on you about? You tell me about that.
You know what it is, man. Like I said, we'll touch this real quick and then we'll jump back into the show, man. But I think folks, man, they just so comfortable in their current life, like they're not willing to entertain anything outside of what they believe.
Sound like you about to start a brand new show. That's what it sounds like.
It is a show, man. And like I said, I know one of our previous guests, Garrick, who comes on the show sometimes, man, he deals with the same thing. It's like people just are not open-minded. Like just because somebody knows something that you don't does not make that person crazy. Right? It's just something that you don't know. So sometimes you got to have an open mind and just consider what they're saying. And a lot of times you'll find out those folks are right.
Growth, man. A lot of people don't want to grow because that means you got to get up from doing the same thing,
Exactly. That's what it is.
Sometimes it's hard to grow and we get comfortable in our own misery. But man, that's the beautiful thing about life, man. To keep growing, to keep learning something new, to keep doing something different.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I said that's why you got to be open to, information. Now, I'm not saying everybody's coming to you with good intent. But like I said, if you got somebody who's trying to bring that information to you, be open-minded to it, accept it, you know what I'm saying, listen to it, entertain it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it may be what you need to know and what you need to hear.
Might be exactly what you need.
Exactly. So man, let's we'll circle back, get back into this show. Let me hit these sponsors real quick.
Talk to them, sponsors. They the ones bringing in the money.
Let me hit these sponsors real fast, man. Let me see if it's gonna work this time. Here we go.
All right, look at Jesus.
Shout out to Two Sons Juice Co. based in Metro Detroit. All natural cold press juices, all types of flavors, health benefits. Get your body right, detox your body, all the good stuff. No preservatives, no water added, none of that garbage. Just only the good. you know, cleanse kits as well. So go check them out, twosonsjuiceco.com. That's the number 2sonsjuiceco.com. And then we got our second sponsor, A War on Friendly Grounds. So this is the book that was written by our own King Jaquil Martin, 5-star rated on Amazon, and the film is also you know, getting shot. We're basically in festivals as well. I think you got accepted. You got accepted to another festival, Los?
Yeah, we're in two finalists right now. We're in the independent short, and we're also in the Venice short. So we're finalists right now.
Blessings, blessings. It's
Yeah,
working.
man. More to come. Sundance is on the 7th, so we'll find out. That's man, Quay. That's the one. I get into Sundance and Tribeca. I'm elated. I'm ecstatic. You know. Well, when God allows that to happen, you know what I mean. We put in the work already. Now it's just time to see that seed grow. So. Yeah, we out here, man. We doing big things, and we're blessed, and we just want to continue, you know what I'm saying, creating content that make you think, challenge yourself, and question your own morals. You know, that's what Looking to Merit Productions is about. That's why me and Quay started the conversation. Y'all make sure y'all support A War on Friendly Grounds. You can cop it on Amazon or Kindle, and y'all make sure y'all support Two Sons Juice, and every single ingredient you can pronounce, you'll be able to pronounce, and children like it. So it's for adults, kids, any and everybody. Local Metro Detroit. Check it out.
For sure, for sure. And let me just give y'all a little show on how simple it is. Let me give y'all this little show. This how we
Yeah,
get
dude,
down
buy
to
me a
something.
juice. Buy me a
This
juice.
how
Can I
we
get a juice?
this how we get down right here. So look at that. Look at that ingredients list. Pressed orange, pineapple, turmeric. That's it. Ain't no concentrated. Ain't none of that. No citric acid. None of that stuff. So only the best. So definitely go check that out. The number 2sonsjuiceco.com. twosonsjuiceco.com.
All natural, straight out of Wakanda.
Wakanda Metro Detroit in here. All right, Los. So man,
I know we must have something good because every time you take a deep breath like that, you about to lay one on the people, bro.
We got a show. We got a show tonight, man.
What we got tonight, Quay?
So the title of tonight's show, and like I said, this is definitely a topic we need to touch, man. The topic of tonight's show is what's wrong with masculinity and femininity.
Uh-oh.
You know, we got a guest just popped in, Los. Hold on, let me see who this is. Hold on. How you doing? I think there's somebody. Is that Shirley Ann?
How are you?
How you doing, Shirley Ann? How you doing there?
Oh, good. How are you?
Pretty well, pretty well. Oh, I think Carlos just froze up on us or something. Did he freeze up on us?
Oh, I don't know.
You feeling okay?
Oh, yeah. I am.
Okay. All right, I'm
Thanks.
just
How are
checking.
you doing?
Say that again.
I said, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, doing well. You know, I said in good spirits. You know, Michigan is on, on lockdown or whatever you want to call it, but we making it do what it do.
Trump trying to steal what y'all got, what y'all done did. But I hope them folks don't sell you out.
Yeah, no, that too. Like I said, definitely some things to be aware of and take note of. Now, let me get Carlos back in here, and then we'll get into this. I think I just lost him. Hold on one sec. There you go.
There we go.
Back on.
Madre. Hello.
Hey, son.
How are you, gorgeous? How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm blessed. I'm glad that we can get some of your wisdom on this show.
Well, I'm gonna watch and see where y'all at. What y'all gonna do with this?
Well, we gonna do what we do, and we appreciate you blessing us with your time and your grace, and let's get it.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
All right, so let me so the topic. What's wrong with masculinity and femininity? So man, where do I begin? Uh-oh, I think we just lost her. Well, see, she'll come back. So let me start this with an image, Los. I gotta start this with an image, man.
All right.
Throw this image up.
Okay.
So, so man, so we talk about on the show all the time the issues between the black woman and the black man. We talk about the strength of the black family, the family unit. We talk about the role of the man. We talk about the role of the woman. Hold on, we got one more guest in the show. How you doing, Chloe?
Yo, Miss Price on the show.
Oh, why is she shaking her head?
Oh, she must see the image. You can get that at Macy's though.
so let me get back into this. Welcome to the show, ladies. Welcome to the show. So like I said, we talk about the role of the man, the black man and the black woman in the family unit, the strength of the family. We talk about the events that have taken place over history that have removed the black man from the family, and essentially affected the black man, if you will. I said, we've talked about the PTSD. We've talked about the incarceration. We've talked about the feminism. Like, we've talked about all of it.
Right.
But today, like I said, we deep diving on this masculine and feminine concept, right? It's not even a concept, but it's just in the foundation, right? So I got this image up because I see a lot of this stuff, right? So, you got these brothers on here. I don't know if these are spandex, and ladies, y'all can help me out. I don't know if this is spandex
Miss Price, what material would you say that would be?
Lycra. I don't know what that is. I really don't know. This picture makes me very uncomfortable.
Great late.
Highly uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable with this photo.
You say you uncomfortable with it. Why is that?
This picture makes me feel. The thing is I'm not with the male. First of all, I'm not with men being overtly sexual. And to me, this photo is these men are overtly sexual. I mean, like the one guy is like grabbing his stuff. Like, I mean, this is like, it's just it's a bit much for me.
Okay.
I mean, there's more for me to say, but it's early in the show. So
okay. All right. Just before I get back into this, shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to Nina Thornton. We see you in the comments. Appreciate you joining the show. Let's say if you want to get on the panel, please do.
Join us.
But going back to this image, I see a lot of this, right? Like, I see a lot of this stuff going on. Like I said, I see a lot of scenarios where men have almost crossed over into this feminine space. Right now, going back into my earlier day when I was younger, you get called out if you was doing some stuff like this. Right, back in high school, it was all type of words, you know what I'm saying, that you was gonna hear if you came into school looking like this, or even with an outfit like this on, right? And it's like now we're in a time where I feel like these things are being normalized, right? So we see these images, like I said, all over the web, all over social media. I mean, you see guys walking the street like this, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in a lot of the films, you see it in a lot of the TV shows, you see it in a lot of the Netflix specials. I mean, it's just running rapid, and it's almost being normalized. And when I look at this, I have to say to myself, where did this come from? Like, where did this start? Because, when we have a scenario where the black family unit is essentially under attack, right? So you have a lot of, family units that are broken or non-existent, if you will. And then you have a lot of, of our sisters saying that they can't find a good man. And truth be told, a lot of those good men, are these images right here, right? So, the sisters have to say to themselves, well, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not a masculine man. So that's not what I want. So, question to everybody on the show, where do you think this started, or where do you think this is coming from? And I say, anybody feel free to go ahead.
Marketing, Hollywood. society. I mean, people have their own freedoms and liberals to do what they want to do. My thing is, if you want to dress like that because you want to dress like that, okay, cool. But there's a difference when your children and things are being marketed to change the influence or make an impression on what they think is what is right and wrong. Because
But I mean,
there's a huge agenda that's being pushed, that's being forced, that's being shown for a reason over and over again to brainwash the condition to make, to persuade your thought process.
yeah.
Do you want to dress like that, or is someone brainwashing you to make you feel like that's what it should be?
But that's the bad part about it. Like, how do you know? The thing is, we've been socially conditioned so long on so many different issues. Like, how do you know when you're really actually choosing something or when it's
Mhm.
been chosen for you and you just adopt groupthink, right? You know what I'm saying? You just take it on because that's what's been served up to you. And you're right,
Right.
like Los, like our kids are getting it. Like I'm saying, my kids and the things that they're showing the kids, like my kids' age and like the cartoons, like everything is just like changed. The way they
Mhm.
market to them,
The
what they market
rappers
to them,
who doing the music
yeah.
do it too.
It's just, I mean, even just something as simple as the cartoons, like even Sesame Street, like they're starting to do stuff on Sesame Street that I personally, I'm not teaching my kid in my house, so it's just like, um, they start them early so that when they get to this age, like the gentleman in this photo, like they've already been conditioned to believe that this is okay. Like for me personally, it's nothing wrong with the man having a nice physique, obviously, but I think that what happened to a man putting on a nice suit to show off his physique, or a nice, some slacks and a dress shirt to show off his physique, or even like, a nice pair of pants that's not 8 sizes too big to show off his physique. Like, why now do you have men in rompers? Because to me, this is a romper. Like, why now do you have men in rompers? Like, this is what we doing now. And this is cute, right? So then you have the effeminate man, and then you have the man that's not just effeminate, but he's crossed all the way over. And my thing is, we have to society, yes, and what we're being conditioned to believe, good is bad, and I mean, yeah, good is bad and bad is good. That's the way things are flipped. So you have that element. Then I'll be honest, like I'm calling out the ladies. Like, ladies, part of this is your fault. Like we set the tone for what we're going to allow or not allow.
Ooh-wee.
And
Ooh-wee.
for a woman, like for you to have dudes out here thinking this cute and like you're gonna accept this from a man that you're with, like shame on you. Like, this is, you can't be out here talking about I want a good man, I want a good man, and then you see stuff like this, like, ooh, look at him. And it's like, sis, he looked like he's shopping in your closet, like he looked like he borrowed your clothes. Like, that's not okay. It's not okay. I don't care what anybody says. It's not okay. Just because you can do whatever you want doesn't mean that everything you want to do is okay. Like, this is, what are we talking about? Like, this is like rhinestones and like got butterflies and lace all on it. Like, what are we doing with this? Like, I mean, how can you take this? I can't take these guys seriously. This, what I mean? I just think that I'm not saying, oh, it's all women's fault. I'm just saying, ladies, we do set a certain tone. And if we was out here not giving this the time of day, then a lot less dudes will be doing this. At least the ones that are in the women. I'm not gonna say that there's still the spirit, the antichrist spirit is still moving. So you're gonna have this anyway. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these dudes that's doing stuff because it gets them attention, or they think this is what we want, or we definitely have some influence on what these dudes are doing, just like dudes have some influence on what we do as well.
Right.
Okay, so for me, this is strictly straight up, hands down, a push for the homosexuality agenda. And the discussion is not about dudes, it's not about men wanting to be men. For me, this is men advertising to other men. They are not my perspective. They are not advertising to women.
I can't disagree.
You know, as happy, painful, or whatever as it may seem, it's not even about a female in this case, and it is about marketing because children today are already being taught very very early, whether it's in their home because they have parents that have opted to have same sex relationships before their children to make them say it's okay, daddy's mommy, mommy's daddy, or whatever. And they're also taught this in school. So it is definitely marketing. It is definitely in imprinting what is where we're going. So I can't help but to go here. I noticed, and I am definitely not a Trumpster because of some of the hatred that he spews. However, ever since Vice President-elect Biden and I'm sorry, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect um, Harris has been announced. Um, the you see now more of the rainbow flags. Um, Don Lemon is speaking very, very openly about his sexuality. A lot of these people in the industry that were kind of quiet, even though they were who they say they are or whatever, they were not as open. I forgot this female that was off that came back on. In fact, I turned the TV. A newscaster. I turned the TV because I'm like, nobody's trying to listen to this or watch this crazy as you try to inject your beliefs upon me. Where because I'm from a heterosexual perspective of how I believe God created man and woman, then I am wrong. So this here to me is men advertising to other men. Now, where I blame women, or I think they're a little confused, is they'll consult these men about their men.
Yeah, but I think that does now see that has went on because I mean I think there's a notion that this man is essentially, or this type of man is not a threat, so a woman is more comfortable having those types of conversations with somebody in this position. So no, I think that's a valid point that you just made. But I struggle, and before I keep going, I just want to welcome Peter to the show, man. Welcome to the show, Peter. Oh, you muted, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well, man. We're glad you got on with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, definitely. But yeah, I was just saying, I guess this is what I struggle with. I understand that the clothing, the marketing, I understand that exists, right? But when did men become so comfortable with it? Like that's the part that's a struggle for me.
Yeah, when the don't ask, don't tell. I forgot what president was in place. Definitely during the Obama era, it like went full blown. But within the last 8, maybe max 12 years, that it has been so overtly. It has always been covertly there, but it has never been in your face like it is right now.
Right.
I feel like it's pretty much everything that's been mentioned previously, what you guys said. And then on top of that, I feel like it also comes from being raised in like a single mom's home or whatever. Because, I mean, if there are no men around to teach boys how to be men, then, I mean, what do you really expect? And that, because I remember back in high school, like, If you did something like that, you probably got beat up a lot. And I think it's just a way to make the world more feminine too, if you think about it. And I feel like in a way we're kind of like trading places where we're trading places where women are supposed to be more masculine and men are supposed to be more feminine.
I think definitely there's a role reversal, but I don't necessarily agree with the fact that because young boys grow up with their mothers, that this type of behavior is promoted in the homes.
What I'm saying
Shirley,
about that is
Shirley,
that like
hold on, Peter, hold on. Shirley, something's going on with your sound. I just want to let you know.
Oh, okay.
It sounds a little better. Go ahead, Peter.
What I'm saying about that is that um, like a man, for the most part, he's supposed to check his emotions. It's like, all right, you got dumped, and then maybe he talks to his dad and he's crying to his dad. Maybe his dad slaps him across his head and is like, man, you got to pick yourself up. You got to be a man. You just got to move those emotions aside and you got to get back out there and you just got to do something else. You got to fix what you did wrong, whatever, and you just got to do something else. Whereas mom would be like, it's okay. She didn't deserve you, all this other stuff. My little boy is better than that, like what a mom should do. But if you hear that 24/7, then what do you think that's going to do to like a man?
Yeah, valid point, man. Valid point.
I don't know because I know women who promote in so many different facets their daughters to take on that type of behavior from a masculinity perspective. So I don't know if I fully agree with you.
Yeah, and that's that part of feminism.
But what I'm saying though, it's not the man that's teaching her to be there. And one point that you are saying that I fully agree with, the influence of women. And if we are imbalanced, the impact that we can really have.
Ma, are you using your headset or are you using what microphone are you using?
All right. Let me get something. Hold on, guys.
Yeah. If you use a headset, it comes through. It sounds a lot clearer.
I'm on a headset, but let me get another headset out and see if that will
You sound clear
change.
right now. Whatever you just did, you sound clear.
Do it? Interesting. I don't know. But
Nope. Went back to the normal. Went back to really soft. Quiet. Can't hear you.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay. I do think having a male figure at home plays a role because then you have someone there to instill what needs to be instilled instead of society instilling what they want to instill in you. Because at the end of the day, your brain is a computer, right? And it's always going to be picking up information regardless. And if you don't have parents that's going to feed you or upload information into your brain, then when you're watching these cartoons or when you watch rap videos or when you go out into society, they're going to upload information into you. And if you haven't learned how to distinguish what's and separate what you believe is right and what you believe to be wrong, you'll fall for anything, especially when it's being overly saturated and it's turned into the new norm. Now, I'm not going to judge nobody's lifestyle because I'm not God. I'm just saying for me, that's not my swag or my lifestyle or whatever else like that. That's just like for anyone who does have that lifestyle or does feel that that's okay for me to push a heterosexual thing on your lifestyle. You know what I mean? And for me to flood your cartoons, flood your TV, flood everything else, you know what I mean? In reverse. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, what would it be in reverse if someone tried to force? Because some people say that this is just natural. This is who I am. This is just me. I was born this way, right? Fine. I'm not God. I don't know. And I'm not the person to try to judge anyone on that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not in the bedroom, Richard. It ain't my business anyway, right? So from my standpoint, if we reverse that and then I try to push male, female on you or a different agenda and I continue to try to feed that and force that or whatever else, is that really naturally my choice? or is that something that's being forced because of how society is forcing it? So I'm just trying to look at it from both perspectives. If they force heterosexual on the LGBT community, or vice versa at the LGTB community, and it happened in the opposite from the flip side of it, you know what I mean? So which agenda is being forced down which way? And if it's being forced, is that natural, or is that just a person's perspective? You know what I mean?
I mean,
I'd say that.
okay. Go ahead, sorry.
My bad.
Mhm.
I'd say that in a small note that today, November 19th, is International Men's Day. And if you take a look at Google and you just put Google, there's nothing there. I wrote a post about this earlier today, but there's absolutely nothing there. But on the International Women's Day, they have like all types of pictures and crazy stuff and stuff like that. But on International Men's Day, it's just straight Google. So I'd say the femininity is being pushed down everyone else's throat.
I mean, because honestly, there's agenda against. Okay, so I know this is like a tough topic, right? Like, and that's I'm sure that's why we're not getting it. We're not gonna probably not gonna get a ton of comments. Probably not gonna get because this is a tough topic. Nobody wants to walk the guillotine. Like nobody wants to be. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, this needs to be discussed because it's a problem. Point blank and the period. It's a problem. And at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Kane. Like the problem is it's not about acceptance anymore for me. What I see is it's about domination. It's no longer about acceptance. I accept who you want to be with. Okay. Listen, do you. Okay. I might have different views about it. Maybe it's not a lifestyle choice I would make, but at the same time, that's what you chose, right? And like a sis I know says, I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in, okay? So I don't have a heaven and hell to put you in. However, I am a believer, so I know what the word says. Okay, let me just be clear. I know what the word says, and it's not natural. Sorry. That's not my words either. Not me. I ain't say that. I ain't say that. Okay. But what I will say is that I don't think anyone should be treated differently, poorly, badly for a decision that they've made. We were all given free will. We were given free will to do with it what we choose. And I don't have to agree with your decision. I don't.
Right,
But
and that's
all I have to do is all I have to do.
We don't agree, you know.
Right. All I have to do is be respectful and be kind and be accepting. I don't have to carry your flag. I don't have to do that in order to respect you. I can respect you and still not carry your flag and still be respectful of your choice. The problem is that's not enough anymore. It's not enough for me to say, I respect you. I have nothing against you. I wouldn't stand for nobody mistreating you, but I also am not going to carry your flag for you. That's not enough anymore. Now you have to say, oh no, if you won't do this, if you won't do that, if you won't now it's almost like they want complete agreement and almost complete compliance with the lifestyle, because me just accepting you is not enough. It was about acceptance, right? Okay, so I accept you. I accept your decision. I accept your choice. Go do you. But I feel like it's no longer about me just accepting you. It's no longer about that anymore. It's about, no, it's not enough for you to just accept me. You have to, you have to agree that what I'm doing is the right thing. And that's why I have a problem. You're right. If this was reversed, the argument is, well, you're heterosexual, so you don't have to worry about that. Well, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you were right. But in this day and age, it's actually very quickly and rapidly becoming unpopular to be straight. So it's no longer, I feel like I'm heterosexual, so I'm good. Actually, I'm heterosexual. I don't know how good I am, because the LGBTQ community are they have such a strong voice, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't speak up for themselves. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that they have such a strong voice now that it's almost like criminal for you to say I
disagree.
I disagree. Just simply I disagree.
Like,
Not I have a
so
problem with you.
you're
Not anything
cancel
like
culture.
that. I just simply disagree.
Like you're saying you're referring to cancel culture. If you say anything
Yeah.
different,
Yeah. If I say go be you, I just don't support it. Then it's criminal. It's criminal for me to just say something as simple as that. And that's crazy to me because how are you really about acceptance then? Is that really what you're about? Because if you are, then I should be able to say, hey, I accept you. It's just not my thing. And you should be like, all right, cool. It ain't your thing. Just like heterosexuality is not my thing.
Right.
Okay. But it's very quickly becoming no, we want complete agreement and compliance. Nothing else. And if you don't completely comply and agree, you gotta go. You out. You gotta go.
For me, I had an issue with people being beaten up for being different, people being mistreated for being different, people being raped, people being just, disrespected as human beings, because of their sexual preference. To me, I stand up for that because I don't think anyone should be treated that way because they live differently or they have a different choice. No, that's not my lifestyle. But just because something's not my lifestyle, I don't think that gives me the right or power to be disrespectful, to be rude, to be ugly, to be sinister, to be malicious. Um, you know, because someone else is doing something that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
What you're doing in your bedroom has nothing to do with me. I'm taking care of my family. There's a difference when you have people who take these different type of things and try to force it into the masses through television and everything else that makes a different influence. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to have your shows and being able to have your expressions, but that's what that is. But when other things are underhandedly trying to subliminally be sent, instead of just being upfront, it's the subliminal messages that I think that have the deeper undertones or deeply rooted things or whatever else with that that have a huge cause and effect that people don't really pay attention to. You know what I mean? I think that can be very dangerous. But for me, because I used to be in the military, I have friends that are part of the LGBT community, and it's all love and it's all respect. There's no beef, there's no problem, there's no anything. You know what I'm saying? And if I, for me, just me personally, saw one of my friends getting harassed or beat up, I'm jumping in to help protect my friend. That's just me because I don't see his sexuality. I see my friend. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. I think in essence, we're saying the same thing. Like the thing is no one should be abused or mistreated for their choice. No one, not the LGBTQ community, not the heterosexual community, not the Christian community, not the Muslims, whatever you choose to do or whoever you are, you should be able to be who you are and live your truth. But that doesn't necessarily mean everyone has to agree with it. That's the difference. Like, if we're going to talk about, being equality and, you having yours and being who you are and being supported, then let's do that. Everything should be supported. It shouldn't be, no, you're going to support me and that's it. I don't have to support you because, you already you. And, but you're going to support me though. And that's I hate to say it, but that feels a lot like a bully to me. Like I don't want to be bullied or forced into accepting your lifestyle. Like you should be, like you said, have a TV show if you want a TV show, do you. But see, this is when I have a problem. When I got to turn on Sesame Street and it's being shoved down my 4-year-old son or daughter's throat without me feeling, that's not okay. That's not okay. See, that's not you having a TV show and minding your business. That's not okay. Okay? That's not okay. You poisoning the minds of kids. Or I'm seeing, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. look, Holy Spirit speaking at this point, or me seeing a drag queen reading to kids. That's not okay. That is not okay. I'm offended by that because you are socially conditioning these children to think that this is okay. You are socially conditioning these children to believe that this is normal and natural, and now those kids are confused. You ain't gonna tell me they're not confused. To see a man walk up in there in a dress, know it's a man, and he reading to them, and he's in close proximity with them, and he's, pushing his lifestyle on them. You're not gonna tell me that's okay. It's not okay. And this is where we are in this country. This is where we are. And I'm offended by it. And it has nothing to do with his choice. By all means, do what you do. But why are you reading to children? And shame on you, parents. Shame on you, because you're not even giving your kids a chance. They don't even know yet who they are. And already you're conditioning them to believe that something that is not natural. You're conditioning them to believe that it's okay. That it's okay. Shame on you. Okay? Because they should get an opportunity. They should get an opportunity to decide for themselves. Just like you decided for yourself, they should get an opportunity to give kids a chance. Give kids a chance to decide for themselves. Okay? If that's naturally what they choose, then that is naturally what they choose. But how do you take a scenario like this and put it in front of a child that's 3 or 4 years old that doesn't even really understand boy, girl anyway yet? They don't really even understand the differences of that. And you put that in front of them, and now they have this image, and they're like, wait, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't know what this is. Is this what people do when they grow up? Oh, this is just what people do. So now they just think this is what people do. It's like, it's confusion. And my thing is that it's not about you doing what you do. Please, by all means, I need people to understand. I do not have a heaven or a hell to put you in. Okay? I do not. I'm just simply saying, though, give people a chance to decide for themselves what they are comfortable with, what their children, what they want their children to be in front of. Give kids a chance to decide what they want. Like, let's stop forcing these things on people. Let's stop forcing these things, and especially on kids, because I feel like they're innocent. They don't really even know, and you already kind of like putting these images in front of them. And I just think it's a dangerous precedent to set, and it's not okay. And people might feel some type of way about it, but my God feels some type of way about it. And right now, he really only one I care about. So that's that.
I can feel that. Let me flip this up real quick. So I want to ask a question to the fellas on the panel. I know we had the image that was the men, right? And the little outfits, right? So let me flip this up real quick. So as men, do you feel like there is a smaller selection of women available because women are choosing to take on a different lifestyle, if that makes sense? Like, so let me ask Peter, because I know Peter, Mr. Big Time right here. Let me ask Peter.
Lava.
So Peter, when when you're doing your thing, do you feel like there's a smaller selection of women due to this particular issue that we're touching on right now with this confusion between masculinity and femininity? Do you feel like there's a smaller pool of women that you have to choose from?
Overall, I'd say yes, but I mean, that's also another thing that we've kind of made really okay, is that women are okay to kiss other women, sleep with other women, and then no one really bats an eye, and then they can just come back over to like the males whenever they're ready or whatever. So, I mean, in a way, for the most part, yes, but I mean, it's kind of like a little bit up and down.
Okay.
But what I do want to say is that, like, I feel like with social media, and like dating apps, like that's definitely made everything harder. And then like feminism, just like on the simple fact that I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but back in my high school, if a girl slept with a guy or something, or she slept with like 2 or 3 guys within that year or 2 years, then she's probably slut shamed. And now it's pretty much praised. And I
Good
mean,
point, man. That's a good point.
I don't know what to say. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
has a
the
lot to do with it. And on top of that, like whenever some of those girls are ready to settle down, then they have like these gigantic lists and stuff like that, especially in like expensive places. And I feel that that's also putting like a huge damper like on all of society, because most men aren't going to be able to measure up to all those tasks and stuff like that. And the ones that can, if you think about it, if they're on a dating app, why would they want to settle down? Because they got whatever they get, whatever's in the pot. Like, I mean, they got it.
good point. Good point. No, we got to touch that real quick. Let me grab this question real fast. So we got a question from Lindsay Simpson. Like I said, welcome to the show, Lindsay. Lindsay says, "How can they?" Well, I think this must be a misspell. Let me see if I can break this down. Let's see. I think she's saying, let's see, how can they decide not to use? Let's see, if they aren't presented with it. I can't break this down, Lindsay. Throw that
Can
comment
you
together.
retap the question, please? So that way, or can you rephrase it so that way we can
I mean,
ask?
it seems like she's saying, how can they choose if they aren't presented with it? Is it heterosexuality forced on
Oh
people?
wait,
Honest question.
she's okay. She just threw in decide. So she says, how can they decide?
Okay.
How can they decide if they aren't presented with it? Isn't heterosexuality forced on people? Honest question. What's
Well,
your
first and foremost, because I'm the one who spoke about that. First and foremost, Lindsay, honestly, um, it's an honest question, and I want to try to give the best possible answer. And the reason why I would say this, first and foremost, a child at 4 should not be in the position to choose that yet. Just like we wouldn't want a child to make a decision about sex. Like, think about it. We wouldn't want a child at 4 to decide if they're ready to have sex, right? That's why molestation is frowned upon, right? You're too young at that point to decide anything about sex. You're just too young. So why would we want them to make such a heavy and important decision, or be faced with having to make such a heavy or important decision, or even identify with it at that young of an age? Like, why would we ask a child at that young of an age to identify their sexuality at that young? Like, I have children, so like I'm not expecting my 5 or 6, my 7-year-old to be like, yeah, mom, because what I feel like happens is, if you take a child who doesn't really understand and you give them something and they really already don't understand, but you're showing them, it's a way of conditioning. And people can say, no, 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 that's not true. But it is. Just like people get conditioned to eat certain foods, or they get conditioned to like certain places, or they get conditioned to like wear certain things. Conditioning is very, very real. And when you take a young, impressionable mind and you put something in front of them, and you expect them to be able to rationalize the difference at that age, I struggle to see how a young child could do that. 2, is heterosexual force. Well, let's look at it like this. I'm gonna come from this perspective. If you expect me to come from anything other than a biblical perspective, you talking to the wrong person. Male and female is how we created. That is how he created them. Yeah. So people feel like heterosexual is pushed. Heterosexual is the God ordained relationship. Okay, so it is. I'm sorry. It's the way we were created. That's why we procreate, male and female, because it's the order of things. So people feel like it's pushed, but it's just it's natural. It comes naturally. Like you don't have to guess at it.
There's a
You don't
balance.
have to change it. Like that, right? So I mean, it's not that we're necessarily pushing it on you. It's just
Well, it's who you are.
it's who, right? It's how we were ordained to be. I know this is argued, so I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to argue this point with me. But homosexuality is not the natural way we were created to cohabitate. It wasn't. That's why our sexual organs are what they are. That's why we procreate the way that we do. It's not a surprise. I mean, what are we really talking about? Here's the honest answer. People don't like honest answers, right? The truth is, male and female, that is the natural order of things. Male and male is not. Woman and woman is not. That's why you can't naturally have sex. You can't have a natural, normal sexual experience because it's not a natural, normal thing. Okay. It has been, that's probably where I should stop right now. But I hope that answered your question, Lindsay. I'm going to stop.
Yeah, but when you think about also, Chloe, I'm 100% with you. Just to put that out there. But when you think about, when they talk about the brain and the development of the brain, you're well in your mid-20s before your brain is even fully developed and making rational decisions. In actuality, parents should be the one teaching their children about sexuality, identity, and not teachers and the government and anything outside of the family system. And people can choose to do whatever they choose to do. However, because someone disagrees with what someone else chooses to do, does not give one the right to force down one's throat. I'm so happy I'm not serving in the army right now, because of the removal of the don't ask, don't tell, and the force of homosexuality and lesbianism being driven where chaplains, because they'll tell a person what their beliefs are being discharged or put out or subjected to. And then those who do not practice such actions, it is also being forced on them when you have communal showers in the bathrooms and all this other kind of stuff. It's just natural. It's not natural affections by far. So I just think that people want to do what people want to do, be it right, wrong, or indifferent, and tend not to go against the grain of, for me, it is God. But what the creator has created for its purpose. So it's just like, I drive a Lexus, right? So the Lexus dealership created that vehicle to be specifically identified as a Lexus, and I cannot cross it over and make it a Cadillac. But we tend to minimize the human race as to what it's really designed and how it was created to become, because of our own evil, sexual, lustful desires.
Yes.
It just makes me feel good. It's something I want to do, so I ought to be able to do it.
Yep.
Not realizing ultimately in the end, you're going to give an account of it.
Yes. Yes.
And just to put it out there, lesbianism, homosexuality, from a biblical perspective, it says that it's defiled. It's not something that God supports. But God don't support liars. God doesn't support whores.
Yeah.
He don't support fornicators. He don't support cheaters. Liars are not going to even be able to enter in. I mean, and we take that very lightly, like it's nothing. Yeah. But for God, just that simple act right there is detrimental to one's end state. So people tend to live in the now moment
Mm-hmm.
for self gratification.
Well, you only live once, YOLO.
Versus what the afterlife. And there is an afterlife because
Yes.
nobody's ever came back and said that it didn't exist.
Yes.
So people live in the now, and then when they find themselves in situations, regardless of whatever that is, if it's not a positive light, then they want to call on the creator for mercy, for help, and whatever else. So I'm in agreement. I don't think anyone should have that type of power over someone else's child, except if that child is being abused.
Right.
A whole different level, whole different conversation. But no.
So let me flip this up a little bit. So I know we touched on the men, so let me flip it up. Let's touch on the ladies. So my question is, you know, Peter brought up a point earlier about feminism. And, you know, we've definitely seen the evolution of the Black woman taking on more male masculine traits. And some of it is via, you know, the particular situation that she may exist in. Some of it is learned behavior or taught behavior from her mother or grandmother or so forth, the ladies, you know, within her life. And then, you know, some of it is from outside influence, you know what I'm saying, what she sees and media and television and so forth. Dude, along with the situation that is going on with the men taking on this feminine attribute, do you all see the same thing? And how serious do you think it is at this point with women taking on or becoming more masculine? Because once again, you know, we touched on balance earlier, and that's exactly what it comes down to, balance, right? So you have your masculine man and your feminine woman. But with so many women these days becoming masculine, like what are we, you know, what are we looking at? Like, what are we dealing with here?
I think throughout history and throughout time, women have been robbed of their femininity because of men. From raping them, from not respecting them, from not looking at them as equals, from not thinking that they deserve the right to have jobs, education, just superior, whatever else. So when we stopped doing our parts or whatever else as men, as being their coverings and doing what we needed to do, evolution happened. And women started taking care of themselves because we were out of order, you know. I feel like if fathers were home, protecting their daughters, nurturing their daughters, allowing them to have their feminine space, they would be more feminine. But men run off. Men don't take care of children. Men don't do the things that we're supposed to do in that situation. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it starts with us, because if we talked about, from my perspective, right? If we talked about order, right? God, husband, wife, then children. If that was the order and we were all in alignment, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have today. But because to a certain extent we fell so far out of order with our roles, we wonder why the rest of the roles are messed up. And that's just my perspective, you know, for me. Because if we're there to protect our daughters from strangers, from being raped, from all these other different situations, and giving them the space to be the little girls that they are, then they don't have to go out into the world with broken glasses, you know, from my viewpoint. A lot of people go out into the world with broken glasses based on what happened to them in their childhood, and then you're wondering why they're stripping or they're promiscuous and everything else. It's because Uncle Johnny or Uncle Leroy was touching them while they were sleeping or while they were kids and they didn't know. Or they weren't protected or whatever else in their home, so they lost that femininity and they looked at the world from, you know, shattered glasses. And then another reason why is because if you don't have men that's going to help them take care of the home, they got to take care of themselves. They got to provide. They still got to have a standard of living. If a man abandons his children, abandons his home, a woman can't do the same thing. So when it comes to being a single parent, it's an unfair advantage when it comes to women, because Men get up and leave and don't do any. Well, some men, not all men, you know what I mean? Because you have a lot of great single parent dads out there. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm just disrespecting or beating them in. I'm just talking about the sorry jokers out there that ain't doing what they're supposed to do or stepping up for their kids. I'm not saying you have to be with a person, but you should be there for your children in the best way you can. Sometimes women block that. They don't allow that. So I wouldn't be speaking to any of those people who aren't doing those different type of things. If the shoe fit, wear it. I'm just saying a lot of it, I feel like if we were at home, if we were doing our part, we wouldn't have these type of issues.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, I do think that once we stepped outside of our ordained roles, once we did step outside of those roles, that's when things started to go left. But I can't put it all on just the man when there has been a organized, orchestrated effort to separate and to cause division amongst the Black family structure. There has been an organized effort, okay? There's a reason why men are not in our homes. We can go all the way back to slavery. Let's do that because we still wear those scars to this day, okay? They were ripping you guys away from the home. They were putting you in other places away from your family. They knew they knew you had family. They didn't care because you were property. Okay. And sometimes they would take the mom out, they would separate the kids. They started to deconstruct our family structure. So now we left slavery broken. We had nothing. And a lot of families were already separated. And some didn't even know how to find each other. Like they didn't even know how to get back, right? So now you have this, okay? We found some kind of way to somewhat rebuild and repair as much as we possibly could, being behind enemy lines, because we're still behind enemy lines. This is not our homeland, okay? So we found some kind of way to repair and rebuild as best as we could. And if you look back in, the 60s and our family structure was a lot more sound. That's how we were able to have our Black Wall Streets and have our strong communities. And maybe we weren't rich, but we were self-sufficient. Well, then enter in integration. Oh, integration. And now here we have, welfare, and we have WIC, and we have public assistance. And now it's like, well, you need some help. Okay, yeah. How many people do you have in your home? Oh, I have 4. How many adults? Oh, there's 2 of us. 2? Yeah, no, you're gonna have to make him pay for his kids then, or he gotta go. And then if he's not there, then you can get these stamps, then you can get this check, and you have to understand it's been an organized effort, right? It's been an organized effort. And then you prop up the Black woman, because just like how the devil went to Eve first to tempt her, because he knew that the man would be destroyed through Eve, they've done the same thing. It's the same formula. It's the same formula because it's the same serpent. It's the same serpent. He never went anywhere. He's still here. So now you have the degradation of the Black family because he's pulling the man out in whatever way he possibly can. So now like you said, Los, now the Black female is having to step into roles that she wouldn't naturally take on, because she's left with these odds where now she's like, well, I have to be dad, I have to be mom, I have to be. So she's had to take on a position and a persona that is not naturally her own. And society feeds that by giving certain opportunities to Black women. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it feeds it, though. They give certain opportunities to Black women. Black women are lifted up in certain ways. Meanwhile, Black men are still looked at as public enemy number 1. Because they literally are using us as a tool to help destroy the prominence and the position of the Black man. They're using us as a tool, and they continually use us. They used us as a tool for many, many things. They've also used Black women as a tool to fund and push and support their narratives, their objectives, their feminist movements, their women's rights movements.
Yeah.
They forever used Black women for that. They've used us to destroy and degrade, and basically they've used us and our position, our power, our intelligence. They've used it in so many ways and manipulated us in so many ways. So while I love that you stand for Black women, it's great. You're right. There have been some Black women that have been put in some crappy situations, point blank, period, and have had to do things that they should not have had to do, period. And there are some deadbeat men out here. But then we also have to look at it from a systemic, higher level view. Like this is going on is bigger than just what we're talking about in this particular conversation. It's bigger than that. So if we're going to come at it from women have had to step up in ways. Yes, they have, but let's look at exactly why and all the reasons why they've had to do that, right? Because it's more than just the victims. Like sometimes I have a little bit of an issue with us always. We have to self-analyze. I'm not saying that, but sometimes I have a little bit of an issue with us always looking at the victim first. It's like that pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. It's like, I'm not saying that I shouldn't be able to pull myself up, but you didn't give me no shoestrings for my boots though. Like, so how you want me to pull them up?
Yeah. I think, a lot of stuff that you said, there's a lot of truth to it. But I also think that when you mentioned the term integration, we still get to make a choice. So we sold ourselves for resources. Simple. We wanted the dollar. We wanted what somebody else had, not realizing that we were rich anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We were very rich because we were rich in culture, which really cannot be bought. And it goes back to scripture where it says, for me, what profit the man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? That's not for me an afterlife. That's a here and now. So I gain a big home or fancy cars or whatever, but maybe not have peace, or maybe not have true stability or whatever. And so we tend to, because back in the day, the big mamas and what have you, they've always been the true help meet in the truth of the matter because of slavery, taking him out of the home and blah, blah, blah. The man may have been in and out of the house, but we have to understand that there are real men who do cover their women, who do make sacrifices for their families, who know that they are a man and no longer a boy. And in women who know their roles, not barefoot, pregnant, staying in the kitchen, but let me get alongside and let's build this dream and make this thing happen for our family. Let me make sure the house is clean, the clothes is done, the food is prepared. And if, oh, by the way, I have to go out and work because society has changed and some things, let me make the sacrifice when my family isn't sacrificed. Because when you say you have to have two parents working out of a home, well, what are you achieving for and striving for that you have to have both out of the home at some point too? So I think I know our morals and our values have changed considerably. And as a result of that, and sometimes how people we expect for people to treat us certain ways. Women expect for men to treat them certain ways, and men expect for women to treat them certain ways. But until you really know how to treat yourself, you know how to treat anybody else, and you don't know how to get through whatever storm it is that you need to get through. Because life is really a bed of roses. And I say that because roses have thorns, roses have smells, roses don't have smells, roses have different colors and different shapes and what have you. And you have to decide in the household, what am I willing to stand for? And what is it that I want to pass on as a legacy to my child, my children, my grandchildren, and what have you? What torch am I lighting so that their light can be brighter than mine?
So
So
let me
there
go ahead.
comes introspective self. And
Mhm.
and a lot of women have to step in, and I don't know if it's role reversal or not, just because I appreciated what um, Carlos had to say from the perspective of men being the covering and women being the carriers in the order.
Mhm.
We are truly out of order, and you
Mhm.
cannot expect order if the head is out of order.
Mhm.
Very
Mhm.
truthful. Because if,
Mhm.
and this is the last thing I'm going to say about that, because if there is order in the house and the head, being the man, is out of order, she's worked overtime because she's
Right.
holding it down while he want to go play.
Mhm.
So let me segue that real quick. So um, this is another issue that we have going on within the Black community. So we have the scenario where, um, to Shirley's point, we do have some good masculine men out here, but we have another scenario that is essentially taking place where, you have that masculine man who comes along and he wants to, um, enter into a relationship with a woman, and she has masculine features as well. So you have the masculine man, and then you have the woman who technically should be, have a feminine attribute, but she actually has a masculine attribute. So now you have this conflict that takes place between this masculine black man and this essentially masculine black woman, which I like to call it the what is the term? The independent black woman, right? So she's got it going on. She got her own stuff. She don't really need no man. She'll take a man, but she don't really need no man. She got her own money, got her own house, got her own car. We done heard the song, right? So we know how that go. But now you got this conflict because you have this masculine man coming in and saying, okay, hey, I want to be the man in the household. I want to take care of you. To Carlos's point, I want to cover you, make sure you have what you need. I want to help, build this household, provide for this household. And now he's conflicting with the woman because she's used to, quote unquote, she's used to being the man. So now
So
you got this conflict, or this question of submission that comes up, right? Because now this is the scenario where you have to play your roles, your masculine and your feminine. So like how do we approach that? How do we address that issue? Because I know you guys see that going on just like I do. How do we tackle that?
but I have a question. I have a question.
I'd say, long
I'm sorry,
story
Peter, go
short,
ahead.
that
So the
go ahead.
independent
Go ahead.
female,
No, go ahead.
why would you correlate her as being masculine?
Well, no, the reason I say that is because, and I'm just basing that off what I see, right? So I have a lot of young ladies on my Facebook timeline, that I'm friends with, and you have a lot of situations where women have been put in a situation where um, they got to do it all on their own. So this is when this whole mascot, and I think this was a song back in the day. I want to say this was a Beyonce song or something, but this is where this whole independent woman kind of badge of honor essentially gets worn, right? So the woman is in a situation where, let's say, she feels like she got her own stuff, so she don't really need no man. She can do it all on her own. So when a man does come along and he wants to contribute and be the masculine man that he's meant to be, then there's a conflict because that woman that has adapted these masculine traits because she can do it all on her own, she don't need no man. She's now conflicting with this masculine man who wants to come in and play his role. And like I said, this all points back to the role confusion that we're discussing tonight. There's literally a role confusion between black men and black women, and we are not playing our role. So when a man does want to play his role, um, there typically should be a response from that woman when that man comes along to play that role?
So I'll speak about me. I think that I'm very independent, right?
Okay.
I have since remarried, and I am very creative. Um, I've got degrees and what have you. It doesn't make me more masculine. However, I think it's for me, it's critical when you talk for a man to cover you to it doesn't mean that who I am gets submerged for you to be masculine.
I agree.
I think that's where challenges come into play. And you find we're talking about black men, black women, not all, but far too many, where there becomes a unspoken threat and or jealousy because perhaps he is not at that space. Because I think when you find men and women that are on the same level, that are equally yoked and what have you, there's no issue whatsoever. But if one or the other, so I'll go here. So if you got the female and she's not necessarily masculine, but she's needy or she's driven or whatever, then she'll take whatever he brings. But if you've got the female that's somewhat independent because she's done it and had to have done it, it doesn't mean that she doesn't mean that she doesn't want to have a man in her life. But I think it's the fact of having a man to appreciate who she is and where we are, because we are helpmeets. And that meant obviously you needed some help with something. And so if we can collaborate, and this is how you get power couples, because it's not that you're in competition and it's not that somebody's inferior to another, because as Carla said earlier, God created all of us equal. It's how do you bring the balance and you're able to take the strength that she has gained from whatever process she experienced in life to cause her to go get the job and to get the education, to raise the children, whatever. How do you take that strength and not tame it, but embrace it and help her understand, I'm here now, I got you. And I'm not going to get you to make you feel less, but I got you to help you feel better, I'm coming to take some of this from you, girl. And it's not that I'm your boss or you subservient. I think for me, it becomes a challenge, and I observe just with some of the sisters within my bracket or whatever, of why you gotta be jealous of what I'm doing and who I am. Take what I got and work it, because it'll make everybody flow. But Chloe, I see you wanting to jump in there.
Is that the man or the
Well,
woman
yeah.
saying don't be
Hold on,
jealous?
hold on one second. Let me just welcome to the show, Nicole.
Hello.
Nicole, what up, though? Buck, Jamaica girl.
Terrible.
Yeah, no,
All right.
I think my point was, first of all, I agree. Like, I think that it matters what type of masculine energy the man is bringing to the table. Like, is it the right type of masculine energy? That matters. It's because some men do want to lead from a very domineering place, and that's always going to be a problem when you have a woman who has been able to achieve things on her own, or who has had to take care of herself, or who has had success, who is successful, right? Like, that's going to be a problem because she's not going to want to be dominated. But at the same time, what I also see just in my generation, and even some of the young women who is coming up under me, what I see is that it's not about, they're not the Beyonce independent woman. They're the Boosie INDP. They that one. They her, right? So it's like they that. So you're not gonna come into their situation and tell them nothing. Like, you're not gonna come, because they're gonna constantly remind you of what they have. They're gonna constantly remind you of what they can do. They're gonna constantly remind you of what they got. And it's not necessary. You know what I mean? Like some men, the dominating men, okay, well that's a problem. But if it's just a man that just want to be with you, and he like, I mean, I just want to be with you. Like that's cool. You got something. That's good. But I'm saying I can bring something to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you can keep yours. I want to bring something to the table too. Like I'm saying, baby, good. You got something. You go ahead, go over there, do what you're trying to do with yours. I got us. But that woman has to be able to say, okay, I actually can now take a break. I don't have to be everything to everybody. I can go sit my butt down somewhere. And see, the problem is you got a lot of them that don't want to do that. They can't do that because they INDEP. They can't, right? They always have to remind you of who they are and what they have, and you're not gonna tell me nothing. And it's like that's the problem. Like every dude out here ain't threatened by you, sis. Now some are, but every dude ain't out here threatened by you, sis. Calm down.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that goes both ways because you have men who throw things in women's faces about what I've done for you and you did da 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 da. Nobody wants to be treated like that.
That's true.
No human being wants to be treated like that.
That's true.
And to me, when those things happen, then your material matters more than the individual. And those are the people that you walk away from, that you maybe perhaps shouldn't be trying to even have a relationship with. Because you have to be on the same playing field as much as possible. Because one can be a fork and one can be a spoon. How do we make it work? Because it's not that the fork or the spoon is better or worse. And somebody just might eat with their fingers. How can we make our unique difference come together to make more and really empower?
Right.
It's not about, there's only one master. And that's the Lord.
Right. Peter, you want to say something, man? I'm gonna swing over to Nicole. I feel like she need to say something, man. So go ahead, Peter.
Long story short, like I agree at both points. But I feel also what's missing is that like a man does not want to he doesn't want to compete with his woman, like at all. So if he's making $100,000 a year, she's making like $60,000 a year, and then all of a sudden the next year she gets bumped up. Now she's making $80,000 a year, and then she gets bumped up to CEO and she's making $120,000 a year. Then I mean, even if she's not like, well, look at me, I just bumped up and I'm making twice what I made. Like, what are you doing over there? Like, I must be with the wrong one or something like that. Even if she doesn't say something like that, then the guy might be like, oh shit, well, I'm doing something wrong and maybe I need to step away from this relationship or whatever.
Yeah, I can feel that. I'm sure that exists. Sure that exists for sure. All right, go ahead, Nicole. I can see it on your face. Go ahead.
I didn't say nothing. I just had to grab an energy drink.
Los, get your girl, Los. She about to come over. She about to come over here playing, man.
I didn't say nothing.
The people want to know how you feel. What are your thoughts, Nicole? I mean, you have some type of thoughts. Like
I said before, I don't think there's an issue with wanting to earn more and all of that. I look at it as you make your bit, I make mine, and we put it together. So, you know,
Nicole. Nicole, I can see it. So let me go ahead and give you the scenario, Nicole. I know you in technology. So I know excuse me, I know how technology works. So when the brother come along and he say, Nicole, I want you to fall back because I'm ready to come in here and be the man. How you responding, Nicole?
That sound like today.
Now the truth finna come out. The truth will set you free.
Come on, Nicole.
That does sound like today. Huh?
What's your answer? What you saying when he comes say, I'm ready to come in here and be the man and I want you to just be the woman and just support what we about to do? What you saying? What's your answer?
I mean, so in a work setting, you know, it's a little different. It depends on what we're trying to accomplish.
Is the
Am I
difference?
gonna, if am I gonna have a problem with it? Yes, absolutely.
Why?
What?
The people
Why?
want to know why.
Huh?
Tell the people your
Why?
problem.
Why do I need to fall back? What am I falling
Yeah, I'm
back for?
just getting ready to say, why does she need to totally shut down? Why could it
Yeah,
not
why
be?
do I need to
No,
fall?
no,
What
no,
am I
no, no.
falling?
No,
Wait,
hold
hold
on.
on. First of all, it's a hypothetical situation that Quasi threw out there before y'all try to make it realistic.
No, I didn't say.
Why she work that down?
Let her
Where
taper.
is?
Let her taper off.
Go ahead, Nicole.
I mean, like I said, I was asking like, why am I falling back? How would I approach it? I mean,
No, hold on. See, y'all trying to be slick.
I mean,
Nah,
what do you mean by fall back? What do you mean by
right,
fall back?
hold on. So let me rephrase that because I see y'all ladies, y'all trying to gang up. Los, back me up because I see what's happening, bro. Hold on, let me figure out. Hold on, Los, let me figure out how to kick a guest out. Hold on a minute.
Who you kicking out?
Because they trying to team up. Hold on a minute.
Who you kicking
All right.
out? Don't kick me out. I ain't do nothing.
Let me try this again. So Nicole.
Yeah.
So Mr. Desktop Support, he come over and say, Nicole, I've been checking you out. I was looking at your code the other day, so I see you know what you're doing. I'm trying to be your man. But Nicole already got her own thing. She got her own money, got her own place, got her own. What you got? A cat over there? You got long little pets over there.
I
You
do.
got all of that.
Say hi, Nina. Say hi. Say mute.
So he come in and he say, I want to come in and be the man of the house. What's your response?
The face I just gave.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
What? Because I'm goofy. So I mean, I am gonna give that face, but she said,
come on,
yes,
Nina. Come on, Nina. Jump on in, Nina. Come on, Nina. Jump on the show.
Yes, you need to jump in, Miss Thornton. Yes.
So yes, I'm giving that face, but I need to. I'm gonna have to ask some questions. Like, what are you trying to take over? It's not that I don't want him to take over. It's just I guess I'm used to doing certain things, so it's like I guess I won't feel as productive.
So that's just like scenario when the man, in this case, can go either
He
way.
can't take over everything now.
But the man in the military deploys for a year, and the wife has to take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back into the environment, and he's ready to take over. It rocks her world because she's been handling things, and I think the transition would be smoother if they transitioned her out of some of those roles and gave back to him versus completely just totally shutting her down. I believe that every woman in her right mind, one, wants to be loved by a man, two, wants to be taken care of and treated as a woman, as his prized possession, as his queen. It's how you do. I like how Chloe talked about what masculine energy you bring to the table. And it's an old saying, you catch more bees with honey than you coming in and trying to act like you somebody's master. Cause she ain't going for it. And you, man, created the problem. Where if your approach would have been different, a girl would have laid it down and say, go do what you need to do, baby. You got it. I trust you. Because remember, trust comes into that place as well.
Right.
That's true. So let me grab Nina.
Where's that balance though, too, on top of that?
Hold on, Pete. Let me get Nina. Go ahead, Nina. Let me hear what you about to say about this.
I missed a little bit of what Shirley said, but with your question, I have questions on the question. So I think for me, it's like for me to say, okay, if a guy says, I want you, I'm gonna do right by you. I got it. I'm gonna have questions because just for me to make sure we on the same page. But I think a lot of it comes down to it is trust, respect, and me be able to say, okay, we're gonna walk together in this journey together. I want somebody who I can walk with and not beat me over the head with it, if that makes sense.
Oh,
So
girl, yes.
I'm willing to say, take the ball, run with it. We a team, but don't beat me with the ball at the same time. So
Yeah, washing my face about what you done did, and I wouldn't do
Yeah,
this or whatever.
right.
Because men do it as well as women.
exactly. So I would have a smart response following that. I know that. Y'all have to pray for me.
I guess people need to ask themselves,
We know you're a thug, Miss Middleton.
what
We
are
know
you
Like,
you're a
willing
Nicole,
thug.
to
why don't you
do?
just shut up somewhere?
What are we willing to do
Okay.
for the sake of peace?
Huh?
But see,
What
Nicole,
are
I
we
can
willing
I
to
can
do for the
hear it
sake of
though.
peace?
So I can hear it in what you saying. See, I can
What?
you gonna be bucking. Like I can hear it.
You say Dustin. And
I'm gonna have
is
to
she
go
a
to
rebel?
the other room.
She a
So,
rebel?
Like,
She a
what you
thug. She a
mean?
gangster.
What you mean? You coming in here doing what? Well, I got questions. Lots of them.
No,
You-
why you
look,
got to
I'm
do that?
walking away, talking, mumbling stuff.
Look, we all do
Mm.
that. I got questions.
Yeah, we
you hear
do.
this, Los? You hear what I'm dealing with over here, Los?
I'm eating my chicken. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Sometimes man need to know when to walk away from a conversation. I'm walking away.
Yeah, I'm
You
about
know
to turn
what?
on my
So
Xbox.
When
back
you
to the
make it,
topic, we were talking about the outfits that men were wearing.
Quay, you make a valid point, and what I'm hoping happen, even with your show, is that your audience can really hear what is being said that's not really being said to help build healthy relationships within our community. And then he has to ask himself, why do I feel like I need to come in so domineering anyway? No, you don't need to come in passive, because any woman in her
True.
right mind wouldn't want a man that's going to let her run over him either. That's crazy,
Nah.
But it's about having those healthy conversations and dispelling some things that we grew up with that don't work today, or that doesn't make sense and didn't make sense back then. And how do we create our own for the sake of building?
And
Because
that's
we
the
really
thing.
are
I don't think
kings
a
and
lot of
queens.
guys have that conversation or are willing to have that conversation. Then again, I'm just speaking from my experience. So.
Yeah.
No, that's all good. I mean, let's say because you dealing with men, just So I mean, you got experiences around that. So no, it's nothing wrong with anything that you're saying at all. I wonder. Like I said, because to me, it feels like I said, we're talking about this issue with the feminine and masculine, right? And it feels to me like almost females sometimes feel like when that masculine man comes along and makes that presentation, they feel like they're gonna lose something. So there's this natural resistance that takes place from the female to that masculine man. Like, hold on, bro. Who is you? You ain't about to just come up in here. I done, I've been did this 9 to 5. I done, got this house or got this apartment, and in Nicole's case, I got this little cat running around. You ain't gonna just come up in here, you know what I'm saying? That ain't how that's gonna go.
Men
And
do it, Clay.
huh?
I'm telling you what I know. Men do the same thing.
Oh, no
There are
doubt.
some
No.
men that will bring women into their homes and do the same exact thing. Unfortunately.
Nobody said men wouldn't do that. We know we do it.
What'd you say, Los?
You're deflecting from Quasi's point.
I'm not
We know men
deflecting.
do it too. Ain't nobody never said no man didn't do that.
I'm
Now
not
go on, Quasi.
deflecting.
Don't
Not
let her
deflecting.
distract you. She's trying to distract you with a
No,
smile.
it's not a deflection. It's real talk. Because it's just the same word that Peter's been saying all night. Balance. Healthy balance. Because if we only talk one side, that like the man doing what he's supposed to be doing, and the female and on the opposing, then what's really the solution? Because we already know what the doggone problems are. How do we come to solutions to make it better?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the solution because I mean, quite no, in my case, Yeah, that's difficult.
You know
We gotta
what?
figure this out for my sake.
You know,
Look, I'm glad you admit that. You know, because
yes,
sometimes we don't admit that. Like,
that,
I know I could be difficult at times too, and I admit to it. It
that's
is, it is
right.
what it is.
That's
But
right.
that's the first step in admitting to it, though. But I think a lot of times, too, when it comes down to it, is that I think for women, once you've gone through a couple things with some different men and whatnot, you build this wall against yourself, and then you have to learn how to trust again. And to learn how to trust
Mm-hmm.
again takes a lot to do to give a man that power over you to do anything for you because you're like, I don't know him, you know. So then comes, I got questions, and I got more questions. So, and I got more questions upon those questions, you know. So, I think what part of it, a lot of it is fully is trusting somebody that they're not playing with your emotions, is going to
Mm-hmm.
put the best foot forward for you when they want you in their life. So that's one part.
Definitely true.
I was just gonna say that. Like Nina, you took that literally. I was just gonna say it sounds like a trust issue. Like, and I'm speaking from personal experience. Like, I had to realize at one point that the reason why I couldn't let go of some things is because I didn't trust. Like, I didn't even realize that I wasn't. I thought I was. And I was like, oh, you know, like this is, you know, I mean, I'm like, oh, that's the problem. So do you think so are you guys saying basically, so if this was a man that you knew you could trust and he came to you and said, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I see you've been running around here, you know, been stressed out, you've been overworked, like you need a break, like you don't have to worry about it no more. If you trusted him, then you're saying, would your answer be different? Or do you think it's just a part of who you are?
Would be cowboy. But
I definitely have. I would say I definitely would have questions before I decide. Like, hey, you
it
got
would be different. It would be because I've been called a rebel, believe it or not. But I can be.
He is a rebel.
Okay, I am. But you know what? If you know how to work what this brain got, you a bad dude, and you can make a powerful thing happen. Nonetheless, I would still be okay. I would be okay with it, and I would be like, let's roll. However, though, he would have to know that he couldn't just take my brain and throw it in the corner like I don't exist. So he would have to be able to.
For the people in the back of the church that might be sleeping.
He would have to be able to weave me into it to allow me to participate with some of it.
But I think that the right type of guy though, like a guy who really cares about, like genuinely cares about you, you're not going to have to say that to him because he literally cares about your well-being mentally and physically and emotionally. So he's not going to be trying to do anything intentionally that's going to hurt you because he cares about you. I think so. Maybe that's the difference. Like maybe we're getting in these relationships with men, and we're not getting to that level of intimacy or trust where we feel comfortable enough as women to be able to allow him to come in because we haven't put in that work, that foundational work to establish that type of relationship. Is that, and then the other side is he just ain't that guy. I mean, there's that too. I mean, you know,
it's
but
that. It's that.
I mean, but also I wonder if it's like in relationships, are we moving too quickly or are we taking on the wrong types of things too soon? So then when it's time for us to do when it's time for the real stuff in a relationship, we're not mentally and emotionally where we need to be because maybe physically we where we want to be, but we're not mentally and emotionally where we need to be. So then when a guy comes and says, oh, I got you, we don't really trust that he can get us because we haven't filled that bucket hasn't been filled. The other buckets, but not this one. So the trust bucket ain't full. So, you know, like we can't, you know, it's not, there's not enough there for us to go off of. That's why there's so many questions about it.
Yeah, but and it's his responsibility to bring that to the table and to not only talk it,
but be about it and do it.
Right. But as women, we also have to feel but the thing is we have to be receptive though. Like if the man is coming with it and he wants to show and he wants to prove and he wants to do the work, but we also have to kind of get out of our own way and be receptive to it, because he might actually be trying to prove it. But if we've been hurt so many times and we haven't forgiven, so we can't even see that he's actually trying to get there, because we're still living in the past. I mean, I'm just saying, listen, I'm no different than anybody else.
Yeah, but I think what you said earlier, Chloe, is very critical. It is the type of masculine energy that he brings to the table. If he's bringing something domineering and forceful, or I'm the man type, broad beat type stuff,
I hate it. And I'm like, what the show for it?
Some people might like it. Some people might think that's going to be sexist. That might turn someone else on.
Yeah, wait. Hold up.
That's when he needs to get the woman is the INDEPND, so they can have that competition back and forth. But when you have that female that is mature and she's ready, the only thing you've done is add another layer to her scar.
So hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me ask this question. I think y'all playing with me right now. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Look.
This hold on, Los. They playing with it, Los. Hold on. Nicole,
I'm about to go. I've been quiet today. I'm about to go.
Hold on.
Well, come on, Cletus.
Real quick. I gotta ask this question. So y'all saying y'all don't want the domineering man, but are y'all saying y'all don't be attracted to that when he out at the club or out in the public? Y'all not attracted to the domineering man?
What specifically are you saying?
He's kind of cute to look at. I think
that's it.
Yeah, wait. You don't get off that easy. You need to define domineering, please.
Right. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Way out. They always
again.
Y'all know who we talking about.
I got questions.
Why you laughing?
You're mad. You're big mad. We sorry.
Los, you take over. I'm done, man. They playing with me, man. Go ahead.
They never been attracted to that. Stop playing.
Look, dude, I don't want nobody trying to think.
I know some of the dudes you done dated, so don't do it. I know your ancestry.com, so don't do it. You might be all that now, and it might be something different today. But back in the day, don't do it.
But every day we should grow. And that's why. That's
not what Chloe said. That's not what Quay said. Quay was talking about don't act like y'all ain't never talked to the dominating dude that had the dominating personality that stood out the crowd.
I just want to know wait. But I just want to know.
You might not get. They gave you a little bit of time. You're like me. You chose
domineering.
Define domineering. I would like. Yes, I would like for Kwesi to expand.
Now we ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that.
Domineering. Like in the club, domineering. No, for real. I want to know what is he doing in the club that's domineering?
Right.
That's the moment.
What he doing in the club that's domineering?
Right.
Hold on.
That's
Is it?
Where's my block button? Hold on.
If you talk about strong,
you're lying. And nobody's watching our show, and you're lying up here.
Let me find the block button.
We just got questions.
Hey, Peter, I'm gonna let you host, man. Go ahead, host.
I'm about to grab my Xbox controller. So,
can you please redefine the question or expand on it just a little bit, or articulate what you mean by that?
No, this is one of the issues of failure to communicate properly. You assume that someone knows what you mean, and then when they ask you to clarify it, you don't want to clarify it. So now
I ain't gonna let you manipulate me, and guess what? I ain't gonna follow you up. That's what I ain't gonna do.
Then be quiet. Quiet.
ladies, what do you think?
You are
What do you think is a dominant man whenever he's walking in the club? What do you all think a dominant man is whenever he's walking in the club?
Hold on.
That makes you like turn your eye and just be
We're gonna
like,
clean
oh.
this.
I think it's his
You. We need order.
like. It's like the super aggressive attitude. Like I think it needs to be a happy medium for me.
Don't
Like,
act like you ain't never want no thug passion before. Stop. Come on now.
That worked out for me. So nah.
I'm good with that.
They're usually not the marrying type. So
no, I'm good with
You
that,
ain't
beloved.
never been in track with
You run into abuse. Then
You ain't
So
never been
basically,
in
what you
track
think
with
dominance is, or whatever,
He
is
said
you're
it
talking
was-
about the Chads and Tyrones out there.
you run into either physical or mental abuse.
Hold on.
Ain't nobody saying nothing about no abuse. We ain't talking about no Ike and Tina.
Then define domineering, because Ike could have been domineering.
Lord, here we go.
So you all think?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
So y'all think the
I don't
dominant
know
ones
that.
out there
Listen,
are the
I
Chad
don't
and
know.
Tyrones?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know anything about this
Alpha.
guy in the club that's domineering because I married the good guy. So I don't know anything
Good
about
job.
You
this
Good
really
guy.
finna get away with that little Easter egg shit you tried to do on my boy Quay? Me, you, and Quay was in the club
I don't know
dancing.
about that.
That's how you think I met Quay? We was in the club dancing. Don't do that.
Right.
I was married then.
Exactly.
All right. Let me try this again since y'all tried to play around that. Let me try this again. So okay. So I'm talking about the guy. So when y'all step out in public, and I just use the club as an example. When y'all step out in public and you see that confident, manly dude, that dude, y'all know who I'm talking about.
They know. They know.
Don't tell me that y'all don't be attracted to that dude.
So there's a difference.
That's not what you're saying.
Like, I know what you're talking about, but I ain't gonna read it right now because you still ain't clarified it yet.
For me, there is a massive difference in a confident man versus a domineering one.
Right.
There's a massive difference.
Y'all playing some semantics. You know what? We ended the show early, Quay. That's what we finna do. We finna end the show. How much time we got left? We finna end this. We ain't finna do
Here's
this.
a lesson, Quay, right here.
All right, Carlos, go ahead and close us out, Los. Close us out, man.
No, women think different than men. We define things differently. Close the show, Carlos.
In Jesus' name.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, we ain't gonna let this go. I ain't gonna let this go just yet. I need an answer from one of y'all.
I can't believe all four of them just got up here and then went innocent. All four of them.
I know what you're talking about.
The problem is the representative. That's the problem. The representative.
Thanks, Mom.
I mean, okay. If you're talking about a man who looks, if he looks put together, he commands attention. He's confident. He has a presence. Then yes,
of course that's attractive.
Of course that's attractive.
We're gonna close the show and now
of course that's attractive. But you have to understand when you say domineering. I'm sorry, but the first thing that pop into our mind is the image of this dude that's just like out here vulgar with it and just like you have to clarify what you mean.
So what's the correct
You're
word?
lying. Wait, you lie. You lie. You lie. You lie. You lie. You know what we was talking about. You tried to manipulate it to deflect from what we was talking about from telling the congregation the truth. You do.
And that's the problem.
You had both people because y'all overthink things, so y'all knew we was talking about Johnny and Tyrone, but you only wanted to talk about Johnny because you knew we was talking about y'all playing.
No, and that's the problem right there. You try to make us think the way you think instead of you getting out of the box.
I know who you dated. Don't do it.
Oh,
I know who my daddy is. Stop.
No. And you know what? Since you want to go there, your father presented himself in a manner that was nothing like how he presents himself today. Since you want to go there.
And guess what? You still fell for him.
A very intelligent person. A person that was on track. The thing that was messed up when I finally woke up was when I won't even put his business out there like that with his parents. But the end state was not for me.
Okay,
because
mom.
I can do different.
At the end of
And
the day,
you know what happened in
you're
the end?
still
Let me tell you what
chosen
happened in
during
the
that
end.
time period.
You know what
You're
happened in
still
the end
chosen
when
during
you
that
talk.
time
This goes
frame.
back. This goes back to Quay's thing here. So he was in the Navy, and we were just coming out of high school and stuff, talking about marriage or whatever. And at that time, I was not wanting to go to law school, go to school to be a lawyer. But prior to that, I wanted to be a state trooper. And so he says, as we have this family conference with his parents and with my aunts, because my parents were deceased, he says, what would it look like if I needed to go to the bank to get a loan and tell them my wife was a state trooper? And I was like, excuse me, the same doggone way it look like if I told them my husband was in the Navy.
Okay.
Not a
Well,
good
we'll
thing.
save that for another show. Now,
No, you brought it up. Now you
we'll
know.
save that for another show. We'll say that for another show. We'll do that on iHeartRadio. Now, back to the show. What we trying to say? Look, we're talking about masculinity and femininity. At the end of the day, there does have to be a balance, and there does have to be a mutual respect. And any real man is going to take his woman and invest in her, so that way he can bring the best out of her, and she can definitely bring the best out of him. Because if the man is the head, then that means the woman is the neck, and she's helping, guiding him, turning him left and right, and seeing things that he can't see. That's the balance in it. So it's not about you shut up, you're dumb, you're in the corner, you do what I say, you don't do nothing. That's not balance. That's ignorance. So what we're trying to say at the end of the day, like the power couple that we have up in here, Miss Chloe Price and Miss Quay, Mr. Quay, we appreciate y'all for being an amazing example of what a power couple looks like. I've known y'all for a long time.
I'm very good.
And Quay, you still can't beat me in dancing. But
man, stop it.
from where y'all were to where y'all are today, and the conversations that you guys can have today, and even when Chloe's speaking, for you to sit back in the background, it don't matter. She talking about tomatoes. You, that's right, boy. Them tomatoes is red. That's what I'm talking about, baby. You telling about them tomatoes. That's right. Yeah. The support, the love, and the respect behind it, and how you still support Chloe, and all of that is beautiful, bro. So let's get to the end of this conversation, right? Just my perspective, right, bro. Biblically, it says when a man findeth a woman, he findeth a good thing, right? But at the same time, you got to put in work. It ain't perfect every day. It ain't always going to be happiness. The truth of it is finding that balance and finding that common ground, knowing when to take a time out when you need to take a time out, knowing how to come back and just say I'm sorry. Because would you rather be right or would you rather be loved? Because sometimes your ego can cause more strain than just saying, you know what, okay, babe, I might not agree with you totally, but okay. And so when it comes to this masculine energy, there's nothing wrong with women having standards. I think sometimes people get that messed up where a woman has a standard and she has a certain thing that where she wants a man to meet. Well, if this is the woman that you want, then you don't mind rising to the challenge or the occasion or whatever it's at the same time. But at the same time, for a woman, then that means I love how Chloe put it. You have to be open, because sometimes you could be so hurt and so wounded that you're not open or receptive so to someone who's willing to receive that challenge, to step up to that challenge, to fill those type of shoes, or to do the things that you want him to do because you're too busy carrying on what happened in your previous relationships. So you have to be open and be receptive. And at the end of the day, what I do believe, Mom, what you were talking about, which is very important, you don't have to trust anyone yet. Let's see the results. The results are everything. That way, if you're showing me the results, Nicole, Tristina, they would be more open to say, hey, you know what? I can fall back because you've proven yourself. Not just one time, but on a consistent basis. And in you proving yourself, then I can sit back in my femininity and flow with where we going and what we got going, because ain't no way in hell I'm just finna give everything that I done built on my damn own to some knucklehead that don't want to have no proof, don't have no plan, that just want to have the gift of gab and just talk. I need to see the results. I need to see, even if you got to get a calendar, and this is good medicine for me. Even if you got to get organized, to get a calendar to show your goals, so that way you can say, babe, this is what we're working on. And by this time, we should be here. And you can start mapping out and plotting out the results of the relationship or the results of the growth of where you want to go. Now, I can only speak this because I find I have my shortcomings in.
You know what I mean? And the only way to get better is to be able to admit your flaws. I ain't really never been organized like that. I've always been spontaneous on the go, but results are important. Growth is important. Consistency is important. Being able to say I love you and I forgive you and doing all the little things is important. And then just understanding, yo, this is God gave this person their own gifts, their own dreams, their own goals without me before I ever walked into their life, whether it be male or female, you know what I mean? And they have their own things that they need to accomplish. So the only thing that I should be doing is helping them inspire to what they need to accomplish in their life in the same way they should be doing that to me. And if we're both working on each other's, if we're as independent people working on our own gifts, but as a couple building a foundation to where we're working on both of our championship banners for our flag, for our legacy to have, to see what we built together for the future, then that's how you know where you're going somewhere. And you ain't got to listen to me, bro, because I failed. You might not want to listen to me because I failed. I'm speaking from failure. But one thing I can say is the only true way to fail is just stop working. It's just to give up, and I haven't given up. You know what I mean? I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning. I'm still wanting to know more. And that's why I can sit up here and look up to my brother Kwesi and my sister Chloe and look at their example and say, man, relationship goals. That's beautiful. I'm proud of y'all. I love y'all, and it's dope. And so that's our show for the night. Tune in.
Hold on. We're gonna make a quick round, man. Let's let the panel do any closing remarks, man. Then we'll close it out, man.
For sure.
So we had a powerful topic, man. So I want to give everybody opportunity just to say anything, get anything off their chest before we wrap it up, man. So hold tight. We'll go a couple more minutes. Everybody, y'all can unmute. We'll just start in order. So we'll go Chloe, Peter, Shirley Ann, Nina, and then Nicole, and then we'll close it out. Go ahead, Chloe.
Yeah, you know what, I kind of wanted to touch. We talked about a lot of stuff tonight, and I just kind of wanted to touch on the various things that we talked about. Obviously, what I appreciate about the show is we do get a chance to talk from both perspectives, because there does have to be a balance. Like, we can't just always focus on the male's role. We can't always just focus on the female's role. Like, if we're going to really try to get to any type of solution, then we have to look at it holistically. Right. But I think that it just needs to be a couple of points that I just kind of want to make sure are clear. Is one, at this point, if we're going to respect each other, then it has to be a mutual respect. Okay, so there can't be, men, not being respectful or giving women the space to be who they are. But at the same time, women, sometimes we have to recognize our roles in things. And we have to say, am I self-analysis? What part am I playing in this? Like, what part am I playing? And then with the whole concept of masculinity versus femininity, unfortunately, I feel like the world is sort of turned on its head. And now we have things that should be masculine are feminine, and things that should be feminine are masculine. And honestly, I think it's a spirit of confusion. I really, truly believe people are confused. They are confused out here because we've been conditioned, we've been shown things, we've been taught things, we've been introduced to things that quite honestly aren't necessarily natural, but because these things have just been fed to us and fed to us and fed to us, some of us are adapting these new habits and these new traits and these new opinions, and they're not even necessarily, they don't even really go with what our true belief systems are.
Right.
But because we've just been sort of conditioned to believe them, we've just accepted them to be true. And they're not. And I think that's why, sometimes it's okay. It's okay to turn off, get away from the Facebook, except this show. Only come on Facebook when you need to see this show. But, get off the Facebook sometimes. Log off Instagram. Like, turn off the TV, and pick up your Bible. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to know the answer to every question you have, I promise you is in there. I promise you it's in there. And it's going to be the right one, the right answer. And I just feel like all of this, the unnatural affection, is, my thing is, by all means, once again, I do not have a heaven or a hell to put you in. Okay. I am not your judge. Okay. But I don't have no judgment seat, no beamer. It ain't me. Okay. But at the same time, you done came across that Bible at least once in your life. You came across that thing, came across it. And we all know what's natural and what's unnatural. And please, if that's what you believe, if that's what you feel, if that's your choice, then be you, be you. Just don't push it off on our children. Don't push it off on everybody else. And please accept support. Accept the support. You know what I mean? Accept the acceptance. But don't get acceptance confused with compliance. I can accept you and respect you, but I do not have to be in complete and total agreement with the way you want to live your life, right? Because that's you and that's yours. It ain't me, ain't in there. No way. And I think that if we're going to talk about respect, then it has to be mutual across the board with everybody, or otherwise, what are we talking about?
All right, no doubt. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Peter. You want to say something, man?
Long story short, it's all about the balance. I think the balance is key. And I think men need to be able to be masculine. And I believe women, they can be independent. But just don't forget about keeping your femininity, because I believe
All
that's
right. I
also
appreciate
key.
it, man. I appreciate that input. Go ahead, Shirley Ann.
Well, great show. You guys always do a great job. Actually, it goes back with scripture, and it says, "You train up a child in the way they should go. When they old, they won't depart from it." So just to hear Carlos's feedback and comments, and then to know that he's connected with people who are within his age bracket that are making it do what it need to do, and that he trust or whatever, and that he can glean from to enhance and empower his life with whatever, not whatever, but whoever he chooses that relationship with. Balance is critically important. I think, be we male or female, we have, believe it or not, both traits, masculinity and femininity, because woman came out of man. And so we are helpers of one another, and it is very critical to always, I say this is esteem others higher than ourselves. And so therefore, being married, if I make it my mission and agenda to ensure that I'm meeting my spouse's needs, and he vice versa, make sure he's meeting my needs, then no one is ever left out of the equation. And you're able to keep outside influences from penetrating internally within your camp. And so the final thing I also want to say is I think it's really crucial and critical. Chloe, you summed it up when it came from the homosexuality community, the lesbian community, that agenda. So I fully agree with you there. But to sum it up, we all have a responsibility to our creator, to ourselves, and then to one another. And we have to ask ourselves, what I'm delivering to the other person, is that what I want delivered back to me?
Okay.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate that. We appreciate that, Shirley Ann. Go ahead, Nina.
I think one thing I really want to say is I think we all have to work on two things actually: balance and trust. I know a lot of it has to do when women tend to be a little bit more masculine because they don't trust anybody in the world but themselves. And sometimes we have to relinquish that trust to become more feminine, become more of, to be vulnerable, to be feminine when we're used to being the end all be all in our households. So, but mainly I would say just basically we have to develop balance and trust in our lives. And that's in everything in life, not just being masculine and feminine. That's through everything. And I think that's one thing a lot of times is missing is we don't put a lot of focus on balancing our lives and trusting people to do right by us in our lives. And that's all I'm going to say.
That's all I'm
We appreciate that, Nina. We're going to go over to Nicole.
The show's definitely good. I came in a little bit late, but I definitely agree with a lot that Nina said. I think with me, a lot has to do with trust. Because I am used to doing a lot of things by myself. So that's definitely an area that I have to work on. And I'm definitely willing to learn and understand, I guess, how to trust a bit more. So I'm open to new understanding.
Well, I can hear something in what you saying. Ooh wee. Los,
So you're
Los, can you hear it, man?
I think she gulped whenever she said that.
Los, what am I hearing, man? What am Los?
Okay, Clay, you gotta get that one down. You gotta get that one.
It just
No,
shows
for
that
real,
your
Los.
shows
What?
that it
Los,
just
what am
shows
I
that your
hearing, man?
shows are
I'm hearing
impactful.
something from Nicole. What am I hearing, man? What you hearing, Los? I know you hearing something, man.
Nicole, she's having a breakthrough.
Let me okay. Now let me ask this last question, then we're gonna close it out. This is another question for Nicole. I gotta mess with you, Nicole. I want you to keep it real with me.
Okay.
Do you want to, because I hear control. Do you want to do you want to relinquish your control to a man coming into the picture?
Not completely. Right now, not.
And I don't blame you. Nope. The right one. Someone who's going to earn it.
Exactly what Lo said.
Say that again, Los.
She doesn't mind doing it to the person who's worth it or who's willing to earn it.
Okay, so he got to earn it. Is that
yeah, everyone's got to earn it. It should never just be given away.
All right, I'm gonna stop messing with her. I just had to mess with her real quick.
I'm so proud of Nicole. She growing on the show though.
Now you know what, man. Let me say this before you close out, Los. Now this is what one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons I'm glad that we do this show, right? Because this show is very genuine, right? So we got different ages on here. We got men, we got women.
Yeah, I'm younger than all of y'all, so just happy to be a part of the show.
Yeah, it's just a great, genuine mix of folks, and like I said, I'm always trying to get folks to get on the show and just give their input. Like I said, I always look forward to Chloe, to Nina, to Nicole, to Shirley Ann, to Peter. Like I said, it's just such a great mix of honest conversation, and I think the conversations that we have will benefit and help others, who watch the show or watch our recordings. So now I just want to put that out there. Like I said, I love what we're able to do on this show. And like I said, I was just picking with Nicole, but I love what we're able to do with this show. And like I said, I'm glad that you guys always get on and support, because I think that's the power and the influence of this show. Go ahead, Los. You can close it out, man.
Just bring a friend. Simple. I mean, we have breakthroughs. Something simple like Nicole just happened to break through. It's not about the simple fact of just staying in control. It's about, are you willing to earn it? Are you really willing to earn my love, respect my love, show me the results of my love, so that way we can grow and build together? And I don't mind doing it, but I work to be where I am. And if you're not willing to put in that type of energy, then keep it moving so the right person can come and do it. And I think we just got to be willing to understand that. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the show. So I'm glad that Nicole just had that moment for herself, you know what I mean? Because the same way you had that moment, someone else that's watching the show possibly having a moment too. Just from Chloe's perspective, from Peter's perspective, even though me and my mom going back and forth, there's probably a family going back and forth saying the same thing that me and my mother be saying, because, guess what? We're all 6 degrees of separation from each other at the end of the day. You know why? Because we're all people at the end of the day. So shout out to anybody who does watch the show. Shout out to anybody whose lifestyle is whatever it is
We're just trying to grow. We're just trying to do better, and we want to talk about it. And if there's a conversation that you might feel that, hey, I feel differently, or I disagree, then bring it to the conversation. It's not as if we're closed-minded. It's not as if we're not open to someone else's opinion. It's not as if we're sitting up here, we're God, and everything we say is right. No, we're not saying that at all. And we're not trying to disrespect nobody at all. So if you are offended, or if you just think differently, yo, we'll make it a topic. Come on the panel and discuss it. Show your viewpoints. Have the conversation, because it's a conversation. Life is too short just to be upset. Life is too short not to share. Life is too short not to grow. Life is too short not to be open to someone else's perspective or opinion. And guess what? We can still agree, or more importantly, respectfully disagree with you. And it's okay that we don't have to agree. Because it's not about everyone kissing each other's butt. It's about us having an open conversation in a safe environment. A safe environment. So whether you white, whether you're part of the LGBT community, Asian, whatever color the crayon box you are, whatever you are, we want you on the show. We want your opinion. It's bigger than just us, because the world is bigger than us. And once we turn off this show, we go right back into the same world we talking about. So we love y'all. Thank y'all for joining the show. My main man, my host, my ace, my boon, you know what I'm saying? The homie, the guy who can't dance, Mr. Light Skin Don't Care, Mr. I stay with the Steve Harvey edge up with the necktie, dress tie, and I come in here looking clean every single day. Mr. Quay Price, that guy. My co-host, man. I'm proud of you, Kwesi. I love you, bro. You're amazing. Just the man who you are, how you represent yourself, how you take care of your family, the things that you do, bro. I honor you for that. So while we on the show, I want to give you your roses while you're alive and just let you know I really respect that, bro.
No, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I see you building as well, man. Like I said, building your empire. Like I said, growing the family, just moving things forward, changing that trajectory, man. So no, I appreciate you, man. Mad love for you, man. Like I said, shout out to all of our guests on the panel, Chloe, Nina, Peter, Shirley Ann, Nicole. We appreciate you guys supporting the show constantly and coming on and giving your perspective to the topics. So yeah, man, that's the show. Look in the mirror of the conversation. Go ahead, Shirley.
Did Nina have a final comment?
Did. Look at you trying to run the show.
I missed her. Sorry.
I
wasn't. I was just asking because I like what you had to say. Now, don't call me to come to California if your neck gets snapped.
When the Lord says it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
All right. Well, on that note, since we snapping necks, this is Look in the Mirror, the conversation.
And can you send him a mirror?
Look in the mirror, the conversation. One of your co-hosts, Quay Price, the other co-host, King Jaquil Martin, Chloe, Nina, Peter, Shirley Ann, Nicole. We will see you guys on the next episode on next Thursday. So everybody have a blessed night.
We'll catch you
they thought I forgot. Lily, baby, another championship, LeBron. Gang, 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 gang.
Are you guys coming on for Thanksgiving?
Nope. Cost too much. Save my money.
That's next Thursday. Yeah.
We might. We'll see. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. Right. Only if Nicole gonna come on.
You gonna see what her boo. Nicole going to see her boo.
I don't have one.
By next Thursday, he'll be there.
We gonna pray on that one.
No, we can get the boo. You gonna bring the turkey, Nicole?
Probably not turkey.
If you go to Popeyes, and Popeyes got a deep fried turkey.
Probably not the
Go to Popeyes and get the deep fried turkey. That thing right there.
Stop
you ever had deep fried turkey before?
Yes.
Oh, all right. You already know what time it is then.
All right, let me close this show out. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll catch y'all in the next episode.
Everybody, bring your friends. We love you guys. Share, like, and subscribe.
Share the show. All right, y'all take it easy. Enjoy y'all night.